This is Into Math 3rd grade lesson 19.1. Describe shapes. I can describe shapes as open or closed, as polygons, and by the number of sides and the number of angles. Please gather your workbook and a pencil and turn to page 492. We will begin under Build Understanding 1. Shapes A, B, C, and D are all alike in one way. Alike means the same. Take a moment to look at those 4 shapes. Maybe think about, what do you see? How do you see that they're alike? All right, let's take a look at part A. Circle the closed shapes and draw a box around the open shapes. Well, we need to go to the connective vocabulary to understand what is a closed shape and what is an open shape. A closed shape is a shape that begins and ends at the same point. And an open shape is a shape that does not begin and end at the same point. Let's look at the next word here. It says a plane shape. A plane shape is a shape on a flat surface that is formed by curved paths, line segments, or both. So that's what a plane shape is. And a line segment, which was used in this definition right here, is straight. It is part of a line, that has 2 endpoints. And here they have an example. There's a start and an end with a straight line between them. Okay, so if you'd like to pause and try part A on your own and come back, you may do so, or you can follow along with me. So the first shape that I'm looking at, I see that it is not connected together. And when it's not connected together, that means that it's going to be open, because there's no way we can start here and end at the same place here. So that means this shape is an open shape, and we're going to put a box around it. Now let's take a look at the next one. Does this shape start and end at the same place? No, it does not. So we'll need to put a box around this shape because it is also an open shape. Again, if you'd like to pause and try this on your own, you can do so, or follow along with me. So this shape would also be an open shape because we cannot start and end at the same point. And now this shape, we can start at one place and go all the way around the shape and come back to the same point. So we are going to circle this shape because it is a closed shape. Let's take a look at the next one. Now this one, if we started at one point and we went all the way around the shape, we would end at the same start point. So that means that this is a closed shape and we will circle it. The next one, we can start at one point, go all the way around the shape, and end at the same start point. So again, that means it's a closed shape. And the next one looks like if we started at one point, we would not be able to end at the same point. So we're going to call that an open shape, and we're going to make this into a box. And the last one, if we started at one point and went all the way around the shape, we would end at the same place. So that is a closed shape, and we'll put a circle around that. Let's take a look at part B. Why are the shapes you circled called closed shapes? We can answer, in closed shapes, all the sides or curved paths are connected, so there is no opening. Now let's take a look at part C. Why are the shapes that you drew a box around called open shapes? And we can answer, the line segments or curved paths have an opening. Now let's look at the last question, D. How are shapes A, B, C, and D alike? You may want to pause and try this part on your own and come back. And we can answer, they are all closed plane shapes. Let's take a look at part 2. Look at these two shapes, A and B. Part A asks, how are they different? If you'd like to pause and try this part on your own, you can do so, or you can follow along with me. So I'm noticing that these are both closed shapes because they start and end at the same place. But there is something different about them. I'm noticing that one shape, shape A, uses a lot of curved lines here, curved paths. And I'm noticing on B, I'm not seeing any curved paths. They're all line segments that have two endpoints and a straight line between them. So I can answer, shape A is formed by curved paths, and shape B is formed by line segments. Now let's take a look at part B. Part B asks us to draw a closed shape formed by line segments. And here's a reminder again about what a line segment is. It's a straight, it's part of a line that has two endpoints, just like shape B up top. And then draw an open shape that has at least one curved path. And again, shape A above us has some curved paths for you to use as an example. So maybe you want to pause and try this part on your own, or just follow along with me. So I have drawn a closed shape with line segments and an open shape with at least one curved path. Let's take a look at the next page, page 493, part 3. These shapes are alike. Part A asks, what attributes do all the shapes share? And attributes is a fancy word for like features or qualities. So basically they're saying, what do these shapes all share and have in common? Maybe you would like to pause and take a look at this on your own and then come back. And then you can write a couple of facts or attributes that you see about these shapes. The things I noticed as first that they are all closed shapes. There are no open shapes of these from these four, and that all the sides of these shapes are straight. They don't have any curved paths. They're all straight. Then we read that these shapes are all polygons. Well, what's a polygon? We need to go to our connect to vocabulary. A polygon is a closed plane shape with straight sides that are line segments. Each line segment in a polygon is a side. So that's really important to know. And then also under connect to vocabulary over here, we have plane shapes have angles formed by two line segments that share an endpoint called a vertex. They provide a picture that shows where the vertex is and the angle that's formed by the two line segments. Now let's take a look at part B. Draw a polygon. Circle the angles and put an X on the sides. So the first step is for us to draw a polygon. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw a pretty simple square. Okay, you can follow along if you like, or you can draw your own polygon, push pause and do that. Come back. And now we need to circle the angles. So again, what is an angle? An angle is formed by the two line segments that share an endpoint. So we're going to go ahead and circle all of our angles. So there would be an angle here, an angle here, an angle here, and an angle here. Great. Now we're going to put an X on all of the sides. So we'll go ahead and do an X here, an X here, an X here, and an X here because there are 4 sides. Let's take a look at part 4. Polygon A has 4 sides and 4 angles. How many sides and angles does polygon B have? Okay, so we can take a look at the polygon B, which is right here, and we can count the number of sides. That's easy for us to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that it has 5 sides, and then we can look for the angles. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can answer 5 sides and 5 angles. If you would like to go back and rewatch this video, you may do so and pause along the way anytime as needed.